Hi everyone, I'm here preparing for a webinar with the HPE Dev community next week where I'm going to talk through some use cases for private cloud AI. I'm logged in here to a PCAI cluster and I just want to show you a quick preview. One of the most important frameworks that we've been working on recently is HPE Machine Learning Inference software. It's a place where you can download and run the latest language models or really any model from Hugging Face. In the environment today, I've got a Llama 3.1 NIM, and what this is basically it's an OpenAI compatible endpoint that I can scale up and down and authenticate users to. Specifically, I've created an access token here for my user profile, and of course I could create more with the environment, select them from a list of users who are onboarded and authenticated. But I just want to show you quickly what you can do with this. Because it's OpenAI compatible, we can basically just connect to an existing endpoint with the open source OpenAI client. So, if I install that client in my notebook and I read in this token, don't do this in production, but for testing, what we'll see is that if I curl the endpoint for that Llama 3.1 model, I'm going to get an access denied response. But if instead I pass in my token to that same endpoint and I create a completions response, HPE is A, it's the prompt here. We're going to see the response come back pretty quickly. Highly successful business with a long history of innovation and excellent customer focus. Thank you, Llama 3.1 8B instruct. Of course, there's lots of other things you can do with the OpenAI client. You can increase the number of tokens that it includes in its response. Here I go from the default of 20 to 200. We get a nice long response in this case. We can also use the chat client as opposed to the endpoint as opposed to the completions endpoint. In this case, I'm just going to pass in describe HPE here. And the difference between chat and completions is that chat has a varying response length depending on really the tokens that are provided to end the response. So here we get a nice long description of HPE. But one thing you'll notice is that some of these models use markdown formatting with the bolding and the headers and things like that. So instead, we could basically get the same response but display it with markdown in our notebook. And then the final thing that I'm going to show is a streaming response. In these cases, when you provide that long response, there's a nice markdown formatting. With a streaming response, we can see it kind of display right there inside of our notebook. And we can also measure the speed of these endpoints. In this case, I'm running the model on a single L40S GPU. And we see that we're getting an output of a little over 45 tokens per second. So yeah, lots more to explore in the webinar. Hope you can join us on Wednesday, February 19th. Thanks.